Let's Talk Oculus is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to know how to support the show, go to patreon.com/Playtest VR. Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Oculus episode 3. I'm Dan from Playtest VR, and I have with me my co-host Samson from Spreading VR. Hey Samson, how's it going?
Hey Dan, thanks for having me again. It's going pretty well. Very beautiful weather out here.
It's beautiful weather out here in Vancouver too. So this episode is going to revolve around some listener questions. We actually got a few questions from the last episode, and we're also going to discuss what we're playing, because I've actually played a bunch of VR since the last episode, unlike last time where I didn't play any. So we're going to dive into that, but before we get started, if you like what you hear, consider subscribing to the podcast. It's on all good platforms now, including the Apple one. I sorted that one out last time. You can also check out the video version on Playtest VR YouTube channel. And as always, send in your questions at letstalkoculus@gmail.com for a chance to be featured on the show. Now I'll have all this in the show notes below. And finally, if you want to throw us $1 and support the show, visit patreon.com/Playtest VR. So Samson, are you ready for our first ever listener question?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first one is from someone called Sam Villa, who writes, have you ever thought about doing your own VR game? If so, what would it be about? So Samson, I'm going to throw this one to you first.
Well, to start off, I love their name. Great name.
Sam Villa?
Yep. And, all right. So I've got two answers to this. The first one, if I'm not using, if I'm stealing some IP, is some sort of Gears of War in VR.
Gears of War in VR.
Yeah,
okay.
Gears of War is my favorite game.
Gears of War is also my favorite game. I can't believe I never spoke about this to you. We always speak about VR. We actually don't speak about the other games.
So how would it work? Right. I don't know exactly. It might have to take on a sort of a real-time strategy approach, kind of like they sort of did that with one of the Gears of War more recently. I forget what it was called.
Tactics.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like there's got to be some way to take that IP and turn it into the virtual world. Yeah.
So you're thinking of potentially using the lore and the world to make a game out of it. So not exactly having a carbon copy 1v1, right? So we're going to have a third person shooter, but you're now Marcus Phoenix. I guess not a direct port, but something in that world is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. But if I am not allowed to steal any other IP, as I've mentioned before, I'm a big social gamer. And so I would love a very simple game where it's just you're in a room with a table. Maybe the room can change. And it's just a deck of cards, 52 cards. And you can play with minimum 4 people in that room. You can have ideally as big a party as you want. And you can play whatever card games you want. You have the deck right there. You just decide what you want. Maybe you have some sort of menu where you can choose games and it'll guide you through, have rule sets or whatever, and you can users can create their own to then have in the game, or maybe you just have a deck of cards and you're just throwing cards around or whatever. It just hang out and and socialize.
I actually love that idea. So it'd be some sort of carnival games type, but in VR. You just have a deck of cards, and the amount of card games you can play is endless. If you want to play blackjack, you can jump into that. If you want to play, if you just want to stack cards up into a big pyramid, you can do something like that too, right?
Exactly. I didn't even think of that, but I like that. You making art with the cards too. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea, especially we've seen how successful these board games can be in VR. For me, in the household, we play Monopoly Deal, almost every day. Almost every day. We're addicted to that game here. There's 3 of us living here, so if we could have something like that in VR, so some sort of card game in VR, that would be great. But I like the idea of just being here's a deck of cards, and you're free to create any card game you like.
Yeah, exactly. Very open. This might even be in like a World in VR chat. I'm not so sure, but it could be the start of something. I don't know.
Dude, you can get Zelda Breath of the Wild in VR chat. I'm sure you can get anything in VR chat. Hey, speaking about Gears of War, though, I know this is not VR related. What is your favorite Gears of War?
Ooh. I think my favorite one's number 2.
I was about to say, mine's number 2 as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely quality. Yeah, I absolutely love that game too. I'm trying to think of how you could bring that into VR. Because you didn't really give us an answer for that one. It was more like...
Yeah, I don't
know. I just want it in VR.
Yeah, I mean, I really think the most applicable way would be the real-time strategy where you just, like, you're sort of above them and you can turn-base control them. But yeah, I haven't seen very many, like, third-person, in VR. Like, it's a very difficult concept because, like, sort of breaks one of the rules of immersion. But, we're so new into VR. We're still trying to figure out, push the limits, what's what. It kind of reminds me of, like, in PS1 days when they were starting to go 3D and they kind of had, like, 2.5D games, that type of deal.
Yeah, I can't really think of how they would make a third-person world work in VR. Unless you were, like, unless it was, like, a tactics game, but you were like on the battlefield as well. So you were, say, the commander-in-chief, and you would direct the different squadrons to fight. But then you're in the same perspective of the third person, if you know what I mean. That's the only way I can think of. If there's any listeners who are big Gears of War fans who think they could make this work, or if you think you have your own good idea for a VR game, please write it down and please maybe save it because someone might steal that idea if it's really good. Like, I like that card idea. I think that'll be a great idea. For me, I also thought of 2. The first one, it kind of has been done before, but there's not a mainstream version of it, and that's a baseball game. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't know anything about baseball, but what I do know, is that baseball on Wii Sports was awesome. It was good fun, and to be honest, that whole Wii Sports package, you could bring that whole package to VR, and I'm actually surprised that Oculus don't have like a sports bundle which has like those type of 5 essential games. That could be a pack-in game, or it could be a free, or if not, like, cheap game, because that'd be a great way to get people into VR. Some people are worried that there's not enough free experience in VR on the Oculus, and it's true. Actually, the other day I was thinking of like making a video of, let's make like the top 10 free stuff that you can do on the Oculus Quest, and there wasn't much, to be honest. I think there was just 10 things in total. Obviously, if you factor in VR chat and Rec Room, then that obviously can bolster your horizons. But like, I'm surprised there isn't a sports game, and I think there is a baseball game available for about $5 on the Oculus Store. But I see that it's got mixed reviews. I haven't actually bought that one yet, but it would be good to see something like 11 table tennis, walkabout mini golf be implemented to baseball, because I just think that range of motion could just be fun. In VR, and I don't think you'd be fielding or anything like that, but you could definitely be batting and pitching. So that'll be my first one, and my second one, once again, is another one a mechanic that has been done, but I kind of want to see more of it, and I want to see a true bow and arrow survival game. I've seen loads of survival games. There's so many games that you saw the Oculus showcase that had lots of guns in it. There's lots of shooting, guns, survival horrors. You got Resident Evil, you got Walking Dead already. But I want one that's pretty much similar to... I don't know if you've ever played State of Decay on the Xbox before. But that's like it's a survival game, but it's not really about the shooting or anything like that. It's more about the actual surviving and the community around you and keeping those relationships together. And crafting and finding and looting and such. So I'd like a game like that, like a survival game that doesn't solely be about getting a baseball bat and clogging zombies. Even though that's fun, but we have that already. And the reason why I said bow and arrow is because like one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time, is The Last of Us. And I love just running around with a bow and arrow and just picking people off. And I did the same thing in Red Dead Redemption. I just picked people off with the bow and arrow. So I'd love that mechanic to be in a game of like survival. I know there was a few bow and arrow games. There's a game, I can't remember on the top of my head, but where you pretty much just stand and you go to different areas and you're just bow and arrowing people. But I think it can be much more. I think that's very simple. I think VR can be much more and be more story driven. But yeah, that would be my two. Any more thoughts on that, Samson? Have you thought of another one? Or?
Well, no, but a couple comments there. Well, number one, did you see? I think Upload VR reported today that there's like a Red Dead mod for VR, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I saw VR Oasis actually talk about that. I think he's got a video out. I haven't seen it yet, but I remember him saying on the tweet today that he's running it on a 3090 graphics card, so the top high end NVIDIA GeForce, right? That's the graphics card?
Yeah, I think so.
And he said even at that, it's still like slugging a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I bet this guy Mike, I bet he's got like a top of the range PC. I bet he has the top of the range. I mean, yeah,
for sure.
I'm sure he has. So if it's still slugging for him, then. To be honest, with those games, I would love to see something like Red Dead, like a proper Western in VR. Obviously not as big as that, but something on that type of scale. But the thing is, Red Dead with those mods, you're still using the controller. And I think with VR, it's so essential that you use the actual touch controllers.
Right.
And I think that makes such a big difference. It's the same I've seen with Resident Evil 7. We spoke about it before on the PSVR. Like, that was fantastic. But as soon as you bring the controllers in, it'll be even better, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. And then just about the baseball game, I totally agree. There's like at least 2, maybe 3 cricket games. And, a baseball game can't be that much harder to make than like... And most of these cricket games are just the batting anyway, just like you're saying.
There's one on App Lab, actually. I think that recently got published on App Lab. A cricket game, not a baseball game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I definitely own one of them. I'm not going to remember the name right now, but I had some fun in it.
Yeah? You a big cricket fan?
Not at all. It was my first experience. I think there's like 5 different types of bowlers that the bowler throws, and it was pretty cool. I feel like I was learning and playing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's not many people in North America who know what cricket is, let alone have ever seen a game in their life. Not a big cricket fan myself, but yeah, you're right. The baseball game, I feel like it should be around the corner. Definitely with a fun art style. I think there's plenty of potential. I mean, you never know. Someone might be making it as we speak.
This is true.
Indeed. Well, thanks a lot to Sam Villa. Samson loves your name so much. Also, congratulations to Sam. He was the first person to leave a question. So I sent him a copy of Zombieland Headshot Viva this morning, a code for the quest. So I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that, and we'll see if he can try and beat my times, because I know I've got some pretty good times on Zombieland now.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to dive in. Maybe get a little podcast competition going.
Oh yeah. So with that, we have our second question, and this is from Eliza Agar, who writes, "What is the game that you've played for hours and made you happy that VR exists?" Samson?
All right. So this was a tough choice for me. It was between Walkabout and Synth Riders. Mm-hmm. I've spent many hours in both of these games, and I enjoy them for very different reasons. But ultimately, I'm going to choose Synth Riders here, because I've never felt better playing any game in my life than the way Synth Riders makes me feel. Wow. And I've always loved rhythm games. I mean, I played Parappa the Rappa, Guitar Hero, and the thing is, I've never been good at them. Like, I've been complete crap. But I love them still, and I try, and I'm not very good, but there's something about rhythm games in VR where I can do it. Oh, it's so amazing. You just feel like you're going to the beat. It's cardio, and I just get completely lost playing Synth Riders.
Yeah, that game is like I've said before countless of times. I think it's very underrated. I mean, you can just see once you go into the multiplayer menu, there's hardly anyone there. You'll be even lucky to have like more than 3 or 4 lobbies open, which is a real shame because it is a quality game. I just think because of how popular Beat Saber is, and to be fair, like Oculus, they own Beat Saber, and everything is about Beat Saber. All the marketing, they show no love to Synth Riders,
Yeah, not at all.
or even Pistol Whip or some of the other rhythm games. No love. And I'm glad you mentioned Synth Riders. I kind of knew that you were going to say Synth Riders, so I feel like it's pretty much all you talk about. But hey, there's a reason why, and it's a phenomenal game, and I really like the music in Synth Riders. I think that's where it really stands apart to Beat Saber. Beat Saber's fine, like the music's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Linkin Park DLC. And there's a few good DLCs out there, but for the core game, I think Synth Riders' music is better as well. But obviously that's subjective. And I love the fact that when they bring out a DLC, like they brought out for Muse and for the Offspring, they have their own custom music video kind of experience, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
it's a neat touch. It's not like oh, here's another just a map, but we put the Offspring on there. They've actually put some effort into the whole design and the whole experience, and it's a real pleasure to play. And I really can't wait to their next DLC, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be more experiences on the horizon. I love that game, and one of my favorite parts is in the multiplayer. So let's say you jump into Beat Saber multiplayer, and the host chooses a DLC song that you don't own. You just end up standing there, and you can't play it. Synth Riders, if the host picks a DLC song, everybody in that multiplayer room can play it, whether or not they own it or not.
Wow, I actually did not know that. That's a great touch. That's a great touch.
Yeah, and it's a good way to sort of test out the DLCs. Sometimes I'll host a room, and somebody will be like, "Hey, I want to play from this DLC pack to try it out." And I think on the weekends, like I'm a part of the Synth Riders Facebook community, and on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, they usually try to host a bunch of multiplayer rooms. So if you're looking for a beginner, intermediate, advanced multiplayer rooms, Saturday and Sunday are the days to look.
Yeah, you're completely right. I think it's called Saturday Synth Fever, and
Yeah.
Sunday is, I want to say Slow Jams, but it's probably not. But I can't remember what the Sunday sessions are called. Maybe it's called Sunday Sessions. But when I did do that top 3 rhythm games in Synth Riders, I do have a little tweet on there which shows you. So if you want to have a look at that on the Playtest VR YouTube channel on the top 3 rhythm games, it's time coded below, and you can see when those dates are. But yeah, good choice. Good choice.
What's yours?
Well, I'm glad you said Synth Riders because I was going to say Walkabout, which is the other one. I mean, Walkabout Mini Golf is an essential game for me for anybody who buys VR headset. Even if you don't like golf, I think that's the difference between this one and Pro Putt, where Pro Putt I feel like you need to be more into golf to like it, where Walkabout Mini Golf is for everybody, and because it has the crazy golf nature of the game. And what I love though is that I know we can talk about it, and we even spoke about it yesterday off air, just messaging each other about Walkabout. The new update is really cool, the flyover update. And the reason why is that, well, Samson, you alluded to it yesterday when you talked to me about the finding the balls. It's much easier now that you can like smooth motion and fly over the course. And it's a great feature. But what I really love about it is the music. Is that they've now got their own music in there, and it just like the game's already super relaxing and therapeutic, and it's just added another level to that. Even yesterday, so the video that I dropped today as I'm recording, I was just rendering it, and it took a little bit. So I thought, let me just jump into like 9 holes of one of the courses in VR, and it was just fantastic. It just relaxes you, and it's quiet, and you kind of just want to, let's play again, let's play another one. I can't wait until they bring out a new course. I know they even Tethys Station, they didn't bring, it wasn't too long ago. I want to say it was like February.
Ooh, I do have some news on this. I'm a part of their Discord, and on the Discord there's a devlog, and they just recently showed a very short, like 5-second clip showing the next course, and they mentioned it'll be going to beta shortly, and it is Western themed, like not Western like Arizona, like not that, but like pew pew, that type of Western.
You could have just said like Red Dead Western, that would have been fine. But hey, we got the cool sound effects for you listeners. That's awesome. That's interesting that they've gone Western, and so is Pistol Whippers also. Their native DLC is going to be a Western DLC as well. But oh my god, Samson, you didn't tell me this.
Honestly, I should have probably read the Discord rules on whether or not I could disclose it, but...
Well, it's been disclosed now. Western, confirmed from Walkabout Mini Golf. Samson's in trouble. Doesn't matter about that. Holy moly, I can't wait for that. Yeah, that's news that took me by surprise. Other thing I want to mention about Walkabout is... Well, there's two things I want to mention. First thing, the support for up to 5 players online is super fun. I was lucky enough to commentate on a winter esports event for Walkabout, and it was basically 4 players, and then one of us went in to record the gameplay, and that was excellent that you could do something like that. Like, you don't even, like, one of you don't even have to play. Like, 4 of you can play, and the other one can just watch if they want to watch. I don't know why, but like, they can't. They can as well. So that's cool that it has 5. It has a ton of extra balls that you can find. I really love the camouflage army ball. I keep playing with that one because I know in real golf I can never play with that ball because I'll lose it, obviously. But yeah, I love the finding balls aspect. Sometimes you just want to find balls rather than actually play the game. And I just love how easy it is. You just put your putter down and it automatically registers, and you take your shot. You have less steps where something like Pro Putt, you have to like press a button to engage a shot, and it works because that I feel like that's a little bit more of a serious game compared to Walkabout. But yeah, Walkabout's so good. It's probably to me the first game that I normally introduce people to because it's so everyone knows how to play crazy golf,
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the ease of play because I was tweeting with the what's his name, Ryan, the developer of Pro Putt, and he asked me why because I mentioned that I play a lot of Walkabout, and I do like Topgolf as well, but it's really the ease. Like, once I've created a room so I play with pretty much the same 4 or 5 people, and I create that private room, I know nobody else in the world is using that room name, so the game boots up, you hit private game, you hit OK, and boom, you're in it. Like 2 clicks, and you're in playing with your friends. Like, it doesn't get easier than that to play around to golf with your friends.
And what is it like in Pro Putt? Do you know?
Honestly, it's been a while since I tried to play Pro Putt multiplayer, but I do remember like a room code that I like. I don't think it like automatically saved your last room code, so you'd have to type that in. You'd have to make sure your friends knew it. Whereas in Walkabout, it saves it. We never have to change it, unless I played with a lot of people. But
yeah, I think Ryan on Twitter is very good. He's the developer and the founder of Topgolf Pro Putt, the game. And he's currently developing a full swing system. Well, the full swing system's already there, but the full swing courses into the game. So I can't wait for that. But he's really good for taking feedback. So I've noticed that he's been requesting a lot of feedback from others, and he's quite responsive on Twitter as well. So yeah, but with Walkabout, to be honest, in terms of feedback, I don't know what to change. Apart from give me another course.
Well, so I am starting to reach a point where, so once me and my friends have all played through all these courses multiple times, I do think we might segue into Pro Putt just to do Top Golf type of stuff, play cornhole, the chipping games and all that, just to add that variety. Because yes, I love Walkabout, but you're forced to always play golf, right? Although now with the flying update, you can in theory just like Mary Poppins around, but but Pro Putt does offer a bit more variety, so I might have to, and 8 players to a room.
Yeah, it definitely does. There's pros and cons to, well, not even cons. I think there's pros to both, and
yeah.
I made a comparison video way back, like ages ago, and I think at the end of that video I said, you both. Like, I own both and I love both. Like, there's not one definitive game. It's not like Creed versus Thrill of the Fight where you can pick probably which boxing game you want. Where this one, I'm like, just get both, because both of them are distinct enough to justify the price to buy it for owning both. So
yeah, even if you don't, well, I would say even if you don't like golf, but if you don't like golf, you might be more inclined to pick up Walkabout.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Awesome. Well, thanks for sending your question in, Eliza. And finally, we have Carlos Gonzalez. All right, all 3 of these people have got great names, I'm not gonna lie. Carlos Gonzalez writes in asking, what are the best or your favorite fitness VR games?
All right. I guess I'll go first, and my first one's going to be pretty obvious here. So, Synth Riders for pure cardio. Granted, mostly on the expert and master levels, but I do think you can get a workout on hard. You'd probably just have to play more. Pistol Whip, my God, my quads are killing me after Pistol Whip. Always do so many unintentional squats.
I love that game. I love that. The Pistol Whip is one game where I went straight to hard, because I think anyone can play on any difficulty. You just have to move like crazy.
Yeah, totally. And then Thrill the Fight, which literally works out everything. I swear to God, I discovered muscles I didn't even know I had after that. And then I'm going to throw in this one. I just picked it up this week. It went on sale Monday or Tuesday. HoloPoint. And I only played it for a brief time earlier today because I wanted to do it before this podcast. And I think I might have to add it to the list. So HoloPoint, you're in a dojo and it's pure archery, but when you shoot, like, they're just like a hologram, a cube. And when you shoot the cube, it shoots like a ball at you, so you kind of have to dodge it and then go on to the next one. And I definitely worked up a sweat in about a half hour of that.
Yeah, I would echo you on Thrill of the Fight. I was going to say that one, to be honest. Thrill of the Fight, even just after one round, I'm sweating. My arms are aching, and it's really good. And it's actually hard. It can get really hard as you move on to the various different opponents. And there's so much customizability in that game, where if you want even more of a challenge, you can put more of a challenge. You can get them to like hit harder, and your hits will be softer, or there's all sorts that you can do with the difficulty modifiers. So Thrill of the Fight, 100%, and it's only $10, which still doesn't believable to me. It's $10. It's $10. Wow. It's fantastic. The only thing that's missing, that's gonna come to the sequel. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I reached out to the developer, so I hope maybe I'm gonna be in trouble as well now.
No, this one's definitely confirmed. This one's confirmed.
That multiplayer will be in Thrill of the Fight 2, that they're currently developing. So that's the only thing that is missing. If that as soon as that game has multiplayer, dude, it's gonna be insane.
I completely agree. I do think that that's got to be a hard thing to implement for a boxing game, because it's so fast. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Although it'd be wicked because it has BHaptics support as well. So if both of you have the BHaptics vest, that's gonna be brutal.
Let me tell you, Dan, I'm glad you brought this up, because guess what just came in the mail? Oh,
yes.
There's the armband and the X40.
Oh, sick. That is awesome.
I'm going to be trying that out.
I was about to say, for all your podcast listeners, Samson just held up the BHaptics X40 suit and the armbands. Did you just get the head plate as well, or did you?
I did not. I did not. Yeah.
You could have spent a fortune, to be fair.
Yeah, I already spent too much.
Oh, awesome! So that you not tried it yet? Then that's just
No, I haven't. I've been charging it all morning, and my first go at it will be tonight after this.
okay. So on that, what is going to be the first game you play with the haptic suit?
I'll let you take one guess. I'll let you take one guess on this.
It's going to be Synth Riders, right?
100%. 100%.
That's going to be. I'm really interested to see your opinion, and maybe we'll talk about it more on the next podcast to see what your thoughts are with the music games, because I really don't know how that's going to feel. I know you could probably feel the beat, but I don't know if it will be amazing or not, but I'm sure it will be. So yeah, let us know what you think about that, because dude, every time I see it, I'm so tempted to buy it. Every time I see it. And I think, well, it's May right now. My birthday is not far away. So, I might opt in eventually. I think when Thrill of the Fight 2 comes out, I think that's when I definitely, because I want to make a video using the BHaptics suit with that game.
I gotcha.
On the question, though, there is another one that I was going to shout out, and that's Supernatural. That's actually a dedicated VR fitness game or app, shall I say. A lot of people are dissuaded by it because it is $20 a month as a subscription service. You do get the first month for free. You get the first 30 days for free. And they do send you a nice head cover. I don't have it with me now. I showed it on the last podcast on the video. They have this little rubber headband that you can wrap around the cover on the Oculus Quest, the faceplate. I have a VR cover, so it wraps around that perfectly, and it helps reduce sweat. So that comes with it as well, which is a neat touch. But I didn't resubscribe. The reason why was just because I already currently have a gym membership. But I think if I didn't already have a gym membership, I think I would have kept it because it's really good. The visuals, I think everyone should try it because, like I said, there's a free demo, I think, of it first, but then it's a 30-day trial if you want to actually do some workouts. The actual visual quality of the settings and the trainer is pretty insane. When you're stood right in front of the trainer and you do like a warm-up with say the woman first, you do a warm-up with her and you're like, okay, let's squat, let's do this, whatever, and you look down and you can see your yoga mat and such. It's so good because the actual visual quality is exactly what I want in a VR concert. Because every time I've done a VR concert in Oculus venues, it's really blurry. Like it's not a great experience. Like it's fine. I remember seeing one with Snoop Dogg and I was like, that's pretty cool. But it was blurry. Like it is pixelated because of the amount of pixels you have to push. But in Supernatural, the quality is phenomenal. And I was like, if VR concerts can be to this quality, you're looking at a winner here for a selling point for a VR headset, to be honest. But Supernatural's really good. It comes with workouts, yoga, stretching, meditation, and you might think meditation in VR, that sounds like counterintuitive, right? That you're gonna have your eyes open, but it really isn't because you get a chair, you sit down, you're in this beautiful environment somewhere on the glaciers or something, and then you do the meditation, you close your eyes, you can hear the person talking, and then when you finish your 5-10 minute meditation, how long you do, you open your eyes and then you're in this beautiful paradise, and it's really nice. Actually, I would probably recommend everybody to try it. Maybe they don't want to commit $20 a month because that's US, and that is kind of expensive on a gym membership scale. It's not really, but that's for you to decide. But to be honest, I really like it. I think it's a quality game, and it has a lot of good music on there as well. Like a Beat Saber has like electronic music from artists that you've probably not heard of, but they have all the popular music here. I was doing all these squats to Lady Gaga and Kendrick Lamar in the same workout. And
yeah, that's where that $20 subscription probably goes to mostly. Licensing.
Yeah, licensing's definitely. But yeah, I would recommend that, and maybe one day I'll do a video about it. But yeah, Supernatural by far for an actual proper VR fitness game, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah. All right, sweet. So thanks for sending in your question, Carlos. And remember, if you want your question to be read out on the show, send it to letstalkoculus@gmail.com. And you never know, you might get a free code like Sam Villa did with the Zombieland Headshot Fever. You might. I'm not promising anything, but if a developer sends me a code, I'll just give it to a random listener question. Because Samson's already got every single game anyway, so I don't need to give him anything. Okay, so as we round off the show, let's talk about what we've been playing the last week, because I think we'll probably spend a little bit of time on that, and then we'll wrap it up. So, Samson, have you played anything? I was on VR last night, and it said you haven't logged in for a day, which was crazy.
Yeah, I've been rather busy, and like honestly, with things sort of opening up again. I played like a real life board game with someone, and I've been watching a bit of the NHL, the Bruins playoffs.
Big NHL fan.
I don't know that I'm a big like sports fan, but I enjoy the camaraderie and it's playoffs. So, yeah.
It's a shame my Vancouver team is not in the playoffs, and could have a little battle. But anyways, as you were.
So, as I mentioned, I played a little bit of HoloPoint today, and then I played socially. I've been doing some Walkabout and Elven Assassin. I gotta say, Elven Assassin isn't the best of games, and it's a bit repetitive, but you can play 4-player. It's simple to pick up, tower defense game. It's sort of it is what it is. You know what you're signing up for, and it's not that expensive either. But yeah, so
not recommend it then, or like what's your thoughts?
So, I like it personally because I can play with the people I know in real life. Like I play with my friends. Exactly. If I was not doing that, I do not think I'd like that game, nor do I think I'd play it. I think there are better archery games. Like In Death Unchained feels a lot better, and honestly, in HoloPoint, it felt a lot better shooting. But like I said, I like social games. I like working together. I like being able to talk while you play a game. So I'm willing to, to play anything at least.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and then going forward, I actually via the VR Verdict podcast, it threw out a tweet earlier in the week about Medieval Designer for the Quest 2 via Itch.io, and I was one of the first retweeters. I haven't gotten a chance to dive in yet, but I'm looking forward to trying that. And I also signed up to be like a Cubism. They've offered new puzzles, sort of beta testing new puzzles. And I also haven't had time to dive into that yet, but I'm looking forward to trying those new puzzles and Medieval Designer.
Nice. Yeah. The Medieval Designer has been on my list because the developer sent me a code maybe a month ago now. I haven't got around to it. I have like 6 or 7 that I looked at it yesterday actually on my emails that I still need to jump in. Another one was the gym class game. Have you seen that? That's on Kickstarter as well.
Yeah, I think I supported them, but I don't think they made enough, right? Something like that.
I'm not sure. They emailed me maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago saying there's a new early access for me to try out, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But I will do soon. But yeah, I think for what I've been playing is I've been playing a bunch of The Climb 2. I'll talk about this one first, and then I'll talk about the next one afterwards. The Climb 2, downloaded it, played around an hour and a half, refunded it. It's a weird one, right? With The Climb 2, I never played The Climb. But when I got the Oculus Quest 2, I never had the Oculus Quest 1, so there was always talks about The Climb 2 was going to come out. They announced it when the Quest 2 was announced, so I was like, okay, might as well wait, because this looks like a good game, fun game. Playing Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, it is quite fun when you climb up the walls of the house and you try and escape the zombies and such, so I thought, this game is going to be great. It looks polished, it's Oculus, they keep talking about it. there's so much anticipation for it. A lot of people love it, so I think I'm in the minority here. But for me, I just didn't. It just was a bit meh to me. Like, the cool thing about it, what I liked about it was that, yeah, the landscapes are nice. They weren't as good as I thought they were going to be, to be honest. But I think maybe I was looking at PC VR footage. But it is still nice. It does give you a good workout with your arms, especially if you go really quick. And I mean, you got your arms like hung up for ages, right? when you're climbing. So it does give you a good workout, which is fun. I just felt the game was a little bit bland. Like, there wasn't much to the game. You have like maybe 5 or 6. I think there was settings that you could climb. You could climb them in different ways. You have the new freestyle DLC, which you climb to the rhythm of music, which I thought was going to be better than it actually was. Like, I don't want to be a hater on this game because I know a lot of people love this game. It just wasn't for me. It's just one of those that it just wasn't for me. It was just, I thought I was going to love it, and I think maybe I went in with such high expectations. I thought it was going to be a more relaxing game as well because, like Walkabout, like an 11 table tennis, you can just jump in and climb. But it just wasn't doing it for me. I can't really explain it really because it just didn't resonate with me, and it was just one of those where, you know, I'm in the minority. I know.
I feel you. I have not played the Climb 2, but I do own the Climb 1 from my OG Quest days, and I use it to share VR with people who aren't afraid of heights when they're new to VR, and I did try playing also via PC VR, and it does look way better. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I'm not much for rock climbing, and I didn't get much out of the game. There's nothing really that draws me back into that one.
I think you made a good point there. Not much for rock climbing. Me neither, to be honest. I mean, I went rock climbing 2 months ago and I ripped all my hands. So yeah, yeah. I think people who are into rock climbing are probably going to love something like this. It's a very safe game, I think. Like, you know, if you're a new VR owner, the Climb 2 is probably a safe game to get. You're probably going to like it or enjoy it, but there's nothing more to me. And plus, I think it was $30 as well, so it was like on the higher end. It wasn't quite Saints and Sinners, but it was on the higher end tier of games. So, especially with Demio coming out. Am I saying that right? Demio?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I listened back to the last week's podcast. I was like, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but you know that game, the board game, Demio, the hottest game in VR right now. It still is. That game's $30, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna refund the Climb 2, and I'm probably gonna get that one instead. To be honest.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant buying that for $30, but knowing that there's DLC for free on the horizon, that and my friends bought it, so I was coerced.
Oh. There you go. Yeah, and plus it's most likely going to be on sale as well, being an Oculus game. So that's the Climb 2. On the other end of the spectrum, the developer, I've lost his name. It's not in my head right now. But the developer of Smash Drums sent me a code to the early access build of Smash Drums that is due to come out, I believe, on the 17th of June, about a month now. It'll be available via AppLab. There's a demo out on AppLab at the moment, but he sent me the early access, which has around, I want to say around 18 different songs on there. I think the demo version only has 3. And holy crew, that game is awesome. That game's fantastic, man. Like, I really feel like I'm generally saying this is not because he sent me a code or anything like that. I generally feel like this game is going to be the next big rhythm game. And the reason why is because it's so different, because it's using drums rather than like dancing and synthesizers or guns. It's using drums, and it makes sense. Like, it makes so much sense. And all the songs are rock. They're either metal, they're either indie, they're either classic rock. Like, there's a good variety of different subgenres of rock, should you say, or songs that have guitars and drums in them. So I think it would tailor to a lot of people who like that type of music. Some people hate electronic music, so maybe Synth Riders is not for them, even though they have a few songs that are not. But still, most of them is EDM, so people might hate like music, and if they do, they might like rock music, and I think this is probably one for them. And like I said, if because it's drums, it makes sense in VR. Like, to actually hit the drums, you get a good feedback on the controller, and I just did one song, well, I did two songs, but after just one song yesterday, my forearms were in pain. So it was like a good workout as well, and I was just playing on normal mode. In the demo, I actually went all the way up to the hard one to get like a good sweat, but even the playing it in normal, like some of those songs are very tough, especially with the higher beats per minute. They're like some of them are really tough. At the moment, I'm like top 17 in the world for a couple of songs, but I believe I'm like 1 out of 30 people playing this game. So, yeah, I think this is gonna be a hit. I think it's gonna be a hit. I'm not sure why it's only releasing on App Lab, not on the actual Oculus Store. I'm not sure why, or they can't get clearance on that yet. But either way, it's gonna be on App Lab, and you should not sleep on this one. This is going to be fantastic. And I know, Samson, I know you're going to love it.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a try. It sounds like it'll be a smash.
That's exactly what I said to the developer yesterday. I can't remember his name because his Twitter profile, I believe, is like Mr. Potato or something, Mr. Potato, something like that. So I can't remember what his actual name is. But I did reply saying this is going to be a smash. And the pun was 100% intended. 100% intended. But yeah, Smash Drums is gonna be a fantastic game. One more quick thing on it is the actual feel. I know I alluded to like how it feels when you hit the drum, but actually holding the sticks, you can tap the sticks together, which is cool.
That's cool.
There's actually little fire flames and fireballs that come up, and you have to tap your stick in rhythm to it. You don't have to, but it gives you more points. You can also change it to more of an advanced mode, so you can, instead of just hitting the drums like most people would, and it's great, it's good fun, but you can also tap it. Like, there'll be drums that come up and you have to tap, there'll be drums that come up that you have to smash, so there's all sorts to it, and it could get really difficult. And also they just announced today on Twitter, actually, so I can actually say this now because it was under embargo, is that they're doing a cool feature called live leaderboards. So this is a feature that I'd love Pistol Whip and Synth Riders to have, actually. So as you're playing the game, you see your score and you see how it ranks against the rest of the world. So as you get better and better, it says, look, now you're number 20 in the world or whatever. You've just beaten this person, and now you're number 17 and such. So you can kind of see how you're doing, how you're progressing as you're playing. So that was a neat touch.
Yeah, that sounds cool. It's kind of like if you were to play Beat Saber or Synth Riders multiplayer, when you're in that room, how it has your scores up there. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly it, but it's the same for single player as well. And also, it has you can obviously play a full drum kit on there if you wanted to, just for good fun. So, yeah, Smash Drums, definitely check that one out if you've not checked it out on the App Lab. As a demo, it's a free demo. I believe there's only 3 songs on there, but that's also really good fun and gives you a good feel of the game. But I must admit, those 3 songs don't accurately represent the spectrum that you have. Like, there's the indie songs on there are really, really fun to play along with, and the hardcore metal song is ridiculous to play with. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And I think that brings us to the end of the show. Samson, do you have any closing thoughts or anything that you want to say?
No, I think we just about covered it all. I'm looking forward to getting back into Demeo tonight.
No, Samson's looking at the time. He's like, come on, let's wrap this up because I really want to put this suit on. I really want to try this tactics suit on. He's even got a shirt on. If you see in the actual video stream, he's dressed up for it. Samson, when you play Synth Riders with your tactics suit, are you going to stream this one, or are you going
to? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to play too long. And so I did, as you know, but the listeners don't. I did buy the X16 suit about a month or 2 ago, and I have played Synth Riders with that. I enjoyed it, but I'm looking forward to having like the arms and more vibrating points. But it did get hot. It definitely got hot, and so it's harder to have like really long Synth Riders play session while wearing that suit.
Okay, that's why you're not live streaming, because you can do it topless. I understand. That makes sense now. It'll be interesting to see how this cooling one is on the X40, to be honest, because it has even more motors, right? It has 40 of them, so
yeah,
it has way more. So it'll be interesting to see how hot this one gets. But hey, we'll talk about that in the next episode. From me, I've just posted, as I'm recording this video, a new video on the channel. It's about an AM VR attachment. It's an accessory for your Oculus Quest 2, which you can use for 11 table tennis. So it's essentially a paddle. It's really good, but there are two major flaws, I think there is, which could probably persuade you to go for either another option or hold off until they do a third iteration of it, or a second iteration of it. I have spoke to the manufacturers, and they did say, okay, we're gonna have a look at the next time and see if we can improve it using those two. So definitely check it out. It's not a long video. I think it's only 7 minutes, and I think 2 minutes or 3 minutes of it is just me playing table tennis to show you all that I'm way better than what I used to be, because in my first 11 table tennis video, it got like 20,000 views, and I absolutely sucked at that game. I actually rewatched it before I made this one, and I was like, oh my god, this is the one that got 20,000 views. Oh dear. Because the amount of times I kept hitting that net or hitting it way too hard. Dear me. But yeah, if you want to check that out, have a look at it, leave a comment, and definitely, like I said, you can check this podcast out on the video stream if you're watching it on audio, and if you're watching it on video, you can download it on all the good podcast apps, and probably some rubbish ones as well. I've probably got them as well. But yeah, that's all from me. That's all from you, Samson.
It's all for me. I've been Samson.
Beautiful. And I've been Dan. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care, guys.